are borrowing money off the book. The money we borrow is actually not passed in the budget. The person who is actually the Minister for Transport. We have borrowed 175 billion Kenya shillings already. What we have done is to mortgage fuel levy that can pay for the next 15 years. So when you corroborate and put together all that borrowing, then we are following the script of Senegal. Valuation is what is important. Why? When you go to a country like Zambia, during their privatization, and I want Kenyans to know, what I'm talking about Safaricom, I have no vendetta, nasina fitina. That is why every investor looks at the intrinsic value of the company. And if you look at all the other investors in the world, including Berkshire Hathaway, when you sell it at 23 billion, is that what you're telling us, the National Treasury? Now, by then, it was valued at 1.8 trillion Kenya shillings. They have now already invested in Ethiopia. And the market in Ethiopia is already responding. So you are telling us, you can buy a plot at 450,000, plot without anything in it. You build a flat in it. You start collecting rent. Then after 4 years, you sell the plot and the flat together for 340,000. Is that possible, dear Kenyans? So I'm requesting the National Treasury and the government, if there is no self-interest in the sale of Safaricom, make the process open. If there is no incompetence in the sale of the 15% GOK stake in Safaricom PLC, make the process competitive. Open the process for other bidders to bid for those shares. Let the current buyer bid. Let another telco bid. Give Kenyans a chance to bid. Give Kenyan funds a chance to bid, because we were going to realize better value for that stake when we open it up for all Kenyans and every other buyer to bid and buy. And as I say this, I am challenging again my brother Honorable Bandi. I have information more than the one I can talk to you now here. If they are confident, you know, I am seeing them talking about market prices. Market prices, market prices. Now, US government, you already come in public earlier this year. It's the National Treasury. If you look at some of the interviews the CS for the National Treasury has done on TV, he has been on TV saying, we are very desperate. We need to raise money. You've already sent a signal to any buyer that you are desperate. Then you go to a negotiating table, you've already branded yourself here desperate, and then you go to a negotiation, and in that negotiation, and I want to make it very clear, there were people who purported to represent the government of Kenya in the sale of Safaricom PLC. People who are not government employees participated in the negotiations of the sale of the 15% stake. And the same people, there are things they do with the buyers. So Kenyans are getting a raw deal for personal reasons. And I want to make it clear, this cannot be allowed to happen. Because we can get much more. There are lawyers in this hall. In a negotiation or in a transaction, there is something called quotations precedent. If, you know, the reason why I am pitting my brother, the CS of National Treasury, is that he's just a spokesman for this deal. He was actually not in the negotiations. And if you want to challenge me, I am ready, because I know. Acha nimaliza na kitu ya mwisho. Acha nimaliza na kitu ya mwisho. As we do the kind of things we are doing, it is important to know that there is something we are calling infrastructure fund. Infrastructure fund is two things. Forget about all the other things. I think now as Kenyans we are used to grandiose marketing of projects. But we know the real utility when it happens. Forget about how it is being marketed. Infrastructure fund is two things: privatizing government assets. Number two, more borrowing. Just watch the steps, not the lips, of the people promoting it. The other thing they want to do through infrastructure fund is to remove development from the budget. We want to run two budgets in Kenya. One, they are running away from the responsibility of recurrent expenditure, which is social investment. And then we want to create another budget on the side for development expenditure. That is why ordinarily, when you privatize a government assets, it goes into the budget. Because the government does more than building roads. It pays teachers, it builds schools, and the other social investments. Now, the government wants to run away from the social investments, create an infrastructure fund to privatize more, but after privatizing, to use that money to borrow more. So the plans of the National Treasury, they've already securitized fuel levy, which is collecting fuel levy in advance. 175 billion taken, in the process of another 175 billion. Second thing is sports fund, already securitized 44.5 billion Kenya shillings loan, which you are paying 100 billion Kenya shillings in interest rate alone. They are in the process, listen to this, of securitizing your housing levy. And me, I don't talk things just for the sake of talking. They are now in the process of collecting your housing levy now, to use it now. You give political clubs now, but the burden is in the future. So my question has been, including in this Safaricom sale, and sorry I've talked very fast to cover a lot. You are going to the negotiations, take dividends in advance, give a 15 billion discount on the dividend alone, and I'm asking, kwani Kenya inaenda wapi? You are collecting money for next year and the other year today. Kenya inaenda wapi? Very lastly, there is the principals in Kenya for day secondary schools. Already wametumiwa circular. The government want to increase day secondary school fees from January. I can tell you as a member of parliament, we are not going to allow that to happen. They have already cut capitation by 9,370. Na ya mwisho, confirmation of JSS interns is an issue that we must not continue talking about in meetings. The National Treasury must liaise with TSC today and issue a confirmation notice to all the JSS interns into permanent and pensionable terms. Asanteni sana.